Before we start with today's video, once again, I am promoting the Pennsylvania election night stream. How funny, we're talking about it today. But as a reminder, just like the other times, May 17th at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the election night stream will commence. In the description down below, there will be a link to the live stream. Click it, and you will be sent to the live stream. Again, if you want, to be notified, click the reminder button on the stream. It's right there, I think, at the bottom left corner. If you click it, you'll be notified the second the live stream starts. So again, Tuesday, May 17th at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anyways, folks, let's get right into the video.
Americanism, not globalism, will be our credo. Then we can be assured that other nations will not treat America with respect, the respect that we deserve.
What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American Politics, back in with a new video, and today we have a big development in the Pennsylvania gubernatorial race, mostly for the Republican primary, but this also has a huge effect on the general election. Trump has officially endorsed Doug Mastriano for Pennsylvania governorship. Sorry, excuse my French there. A little bit out of it today. But point is this: Trump just endorsed the one candidate, the most controversial candidate in this entire race. And we're going to be talking about it today, talking about the implications of Trump endorsing Mastriano. Now, before we continue, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash that like button down below, subscribe, share it to friends, hit the little bell, and yes, of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And yeah, so let's get right into it, folks. No garbage. Let's stop the promotions. Let's get right into it. So, Donald John Trump has just endorsed State Senator Doug Mastriano. Now, before we get into the implications of this, we got to talk about who Doug Mastriano is. And if you don't know who he is, you've been living under a rock for like, 3 years now? Essentially, this guy was one of the biggest named state senators during the election contests in November and December of 2020. And he was in the Pennsylvania State Senate when they had the hearing over the election stuff. And he blew up, literally, on Facebook, Twitter. Those accounts just exploded. And essentially, he was seen as one of those top election integrity guys in the country. He gained so much name recognition just with that he used that momentum to run for the governorship. And, well, it appears he's giving the nominee. As you go to the polls, even before Trump endorsed Mastriano, he was in first place by a convincing margin, around 30% of the vote. Now, there are people that are freaking the hell out about this race. People are saying, Doug Mastriano can't win. It's over for the Republicans and all that stuff. So the people are saying this for one reason: QAnon. And I guess you could say the election stuff, but mostly the Q stuff. If you don't know, it was like 4 years ago, he had a Facebook post about, QAnon, like how he supported and stuff. That is the main concern with Mastriano. He has some bigger than usual Q ties, to say the least. And I know QAnon's kind of a meme, and this was like 4 years ago. It's like, okay, who really cares? But the issue with Mastriano is his connections were a bit deeper. He, used a lot more Q boomer terminology than most. And that is why people are freaking out like, Josh Shapiro will run away with this race. That's the issue with him. But outside of that, Mastriano is a good candidate, though I think he's overrated. Now, people are going to talk about the election integrity stuff. This guy is one of the main reasons that we had the mail-in voting expanded in Pennsylvania. He voted for it. He pushed for it. It's like he only became popular with election integrity after the fact. It's like, really? This guy is the front face of election integrity? And I'm not saying he's bad. These people are making it sound like he's the worst candidate ever. He's good on the issues. His problem, I fear, is how much of a fraud is he? If he's just going to flip-flop like that in a second, what is he going to do on other issues? Now, some of his campaign, earlier campaigns talked about, like, essentially Christian nationalism and stuff like that. It's some base stuff. But people are also fearing that that could also affect Mastriano's chances for the governorship because that's too extreme or something like that. Well, Doug Mastriano, in my opinion, does have, the lowest chance of winning the governorship of the candidates. I think Barletta has the highest, and Mastriano has the lowest. I do agree with that. However, this nonsense that he can't win a statewide race, that's bullshit. If this 2018, sure. In 2018, if he was running against, somebody like Tom Wolf, you scroll up here, you go to 2018 right here, and Wolf won by 17 against Scott Wagner, who was a good candidate. If this was, Doug Mastriano, he probably would have lost by 18, 19 points. But he's not going against Tom Wolf, and it's certainly not a blue wave year. Like, people are, claiming it's going to be now. It's no. It was never a blue wave year, and it isn't. So his candidate he will be going against, because it's pretty much a sure thing at this point that Mastriano gets a nomination, barring some, late surge by Lou, which F's in the chat for Lou. I mean, I feel bad for him. He was my personal choice. I just feel awful. He was one of the first representatives to support Trump in 2016. It's I wish that Trump endorsed him just to help him go over the hump, but it's whatever. It's a sad thing. I wish Barletta runs again, but I think this is probably it for him. Very sad. But either way, the main candidate's Josh Shapiro, who, his campaign has been, in my opinion, been garbage. Absolute nonsense. And people are saying, well, you see here, he's attacking Doug Mastriano. But here's the thing about the quote-unquote attacks on Doug Mastriano. He sent these pamphlets to Republican areas, like the most reddest parts of the state, tying Mastriano to Trump, tying him to being pro-life, tying him to election integrity. He really thinks that's going to hurt Mastriano. In my opinion, this moron may have just given him an extra boost, not only the primary, but also the general election. He did free advertising for him. Every single time that candidates, do this stuff like, look at this, he's pro-life, and he sends it to, the base that he's representing, like Mastriano trying to represent the MAGA/Trumpian base. It always backfires. It's this is a stupid idea that he's doing. So again, this is essentially free advertising. Mastriano at this point does not have to worry about, appealing to the Republican base. That's nothing now. Now he has to find a way to appeal to those independents in Pennsylvania, which again, when I talk about independents in a state like Pennsylvania, I'm not talking about, Philadelphia independents that vote 90-10 Democrat. I'm talking about those more exurban voters, like in Bucks County. They're not necessarily deep red, but at the same time, they're not, deep blue. They're purple voters. And a lot of them, were kind of Trump-Biden voters. Mastriano's not going to do the best with them, but he does have to just do okay. Just has to do okay enough with those type of voters. If he does, he has a fairly easy, shot to the governorship. At this point, his floor is like a 2-point loss. His ceiling, a 2-point win. And again, he's facing one of the weakest, statewide candidates Pennsylvania has for Democrats. People make Josh Shapiro this, electoral beast. Look at this. Look at this. He only won the Attorney General race, which, by the way, was uncompetitive, essentially, by only 4.5 points. You go to 2016, he won it by around 3. So, in one of the most favorable national environments the Democrats have ever had, and going against a no-name candidate with no money, no name recognition, who was down by 11, 12 points in the polls, and Josh Shapiro had the endorsement of literally everybody. Allegheny Central Labor Union, Brady's Camp, the Philadelphia Tribune, everybody. Yet somehow he only won by like 4.5 points. He's not an electoral beast. What happened was it was a favorable national environment. And that's why he won. And that is why, in my opinion, he's not going to win this election. It's like he ran against nobody. Now he's running against somebody with a lot of the backing of the Republican Party, but also Trump. You're not winning that race, Shapiro. Trust me, you are not winning that race as of now. And again, if Mastriano really does collapse with the QAnon stuff, he probably loses by 2 to 3 points. But this garbage that, the QAnon stuff will flip the state house blue, not happening. Absolutely not. And these people are idiots who really believe that nonsense. But either way, I do think that if Mastriano runs a good campaign, if he could find a way to appeal to those purple voters, and in my opinion, he has to do it not only like in Bucks County, but northeastern Pennsylvania. It's a very blue-collar area. A lot of blue dog Dems. A lot of them. That's where, if he wins this race, he wins it up there. He needs to find a way to do good in that part of the state. He has the MAGA base, enthusiastic. They're going to vote for him. He just needs to find a way to pick off those remaining blue dog Dems. If he does, and, does good enough with those quote-unquote independent voters, he's the next governor of the state of Pennsylvania. It's not that complicated. Well, on paper it isn't, but I do think he can do it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button down below, subscribe, share it to friends, hit the little bell, and yes, of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. Also a reminder, stream happening next Tuesday. That's going to be a very entertaining stream. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.